Welcome everybody back to another episode of Anchors Away. It has been a little bit of time here due to some personal things regarding moving and a whole lot of other fun stuff that goes on in regards to moving. So it's been about a week and a half now since we've uploaded our latest episode. And a lot has gone on, especially with the Mariners and Kyle Lewis returning and then getting hurt. And we'll kind of dive into that a little bit and what happened with him and why he was pulled or not pulled, but sat out the last few days, and then it looks like he was sitting out again tonight. And then the Sounders picked up a W there, first one in the MLS. It feels like in a long time, which is definitely nice to see. And then we'll just kind of see what else we got going on. But before we dive into it, how are you doing? How are things going up in Kentucky now?
Sure. Yeah, it was a nice Memorial Day weekend. We had some heat, so it's definitely, the unofficial start to summer is here, so that was good. Got some house cleaning done, got some organization starting out, and just kind of try to capture what I could over the holiday weekend there, and really was a good time. It was nice to see folks out remembering those who have serviced our country and have given of themselves. And I think it was a good time by all. I think folks are just glad to be out and getting out of the house, so to speak. Things are starting to get back to normal. And, we got kind of to the midpoint, I guess, of the country, and you decided, still too close to the west. Let's get it further east. So how'd that transition go?
Yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily say that, as definitely wasn't like a planned thing even 6 months ago. I was definitely happy with Kentucky. I enjoyed, at least the few years I was there, and definitely will be back just to at least visit, if nothing else, multiple times and just see how things are doing up there.
Yeah.
But overall, move went very smoothly, surprisingly.
Good.
Which was nice. We have the two cats. I guess they were not happy, but they just sat in the corner and were fine the rest of the way. There was
Good deal.
a huge litter box incident that happened, and they basically had to lay in litter for a solid 6 hours. So,
Oh,
but
wow.
U-Haul was good. Movers up in Kentucky were great. We used them when we moved to Frankfurt, and then obviously when we moved now. Very helpful and very, very kind. So,
Awesome.
yeah, cannot complain about the move. Overall, everything was
Good.
smoothly and nicely. Um,
Good deal.
so before we, of course, dive into everything, I got to do the question of the
Oh, yeah.
the episode, and we're talking about Kyle Lewis a little bit, and we'll kind of
Oh,
talk about him further. But this one was kind of not really kind of surprising, kind of interesting to me.
hmm.
But can you name I'll give you Kyle Lewis. That's a freebie. Can you name the other three Mariners to win Rookie of the Year?
Well, Ichiro is one.
Yep.
Um, was it Sasaki?
Yep, he was the third. You got one
Okay.
more.
Uh, Hasagawa?
No.
And was it Shigi? Okay. Um, Iwakuma?
No.
No, I was just thinking maybe Japanese player.
I know one of them was the Japanese question we did not too long ago, but no.
Mark Langston?
No.
Alvin Davis.
There you go.
There we go.
1984.
Mr. Mariner. Got
Yep.
it.
Yep. So Alvin Davis, Sasaki, Ichiro, and Kyle Lewis. And
All right.
kind of funny, it took about 20 years from Alvin Davis to Sasaki to win one. They go back to back with Ichiro. Then about another 20 years before we get another Rookie of the Year. So kind of interesting timing there and how that all worked out.
Yeah.
But, going back to Kyle Lewis, he finally came back, hit a couple great home runs, one off Verlander and then another one there. I don't remember who off, but just a beautiful, it was going away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I guess, gets hit by some sort of slight breaking pitch, fastball up in the shoulder. And now it's possible he's going to go on the concussion protocol list. I guess it uh, kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but hit him in the shoulder and it went all the way up to his head and he just wasn't feeling right. So another
Yeah, it
just
was weird.
freak accident.
It was a really freak because on the watching the game and stuff, when it hit his shoulder, when he went to hit the shoulder, the mouth guard,
Yeah.
when the shoulder hit it, took his helmet off. And so when the ball went off his shoulder, it hit him in the face, but it looked like it was like, a glance, and he seemed to
Yeah.
be fine right afterwards. So we didn't,
No
you would think,
reason to
oh,
think.
lucky, hit him in the shoulder, no big deal. But one of those, that guy has I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just bad juju or karma or luck or whatever, but the injuries he gets are just so freaky. It's just, it's just,
Yeah.
I, it's unexplainable.
Yeah, I mean this one, the running into the wall. I think the other, like, didn't he have one where he slid and it tore or something?
Yeah.
Like, just kind of unusual ways, I feel like, to get hurt
Yeah.
and everything. But I guess the one positive with this is at least it wasn't the knee this time.
Exactly.
It was,
Yeah. God,
hopefully the whatever happen, if he does have a concussion or whatever, it's heals quickly and he can at
Yes.
least get back to DHing and hitting, because it did seem like it was a positive influence on the team when he was in there.
Oh, absolutely. And it lengthened that lineup really nicely. I mean,
Yeah.
my gosh, when you saw the end of the bottom of the lineup, I mean, but he was hitting seventh and it just crushing it. So hopefully he gets back, because it looks like he was in his zone, and I'm sure he's just thrilled to be playing baseball again.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy just deserves some luck. Something's got to give for him. Just get him to play. Good night.
Oh, for sure. I mean, him and Julio are going to be quite the duo if he can stay healthy. Obviously,
yeah.
Kyle Lewis, Rookie of the Year winner not too long ago, and then J Rod's definitely starting to make a push, I think, at this point as well. I think he still leads the league in stolen bases. Power is starting to come up. And I think last I saw he was at 6 home runs. Average is continuing to, a little bit, couple games here and there, not so great, but continuing to move up in the right direction. Now, obviously, Kelnick kind of has been doing his thing again in AAA. Like, he can hit AAA pitching like nothing. But whatever, I think you were telling me about this maybe, where just the difference that somebody was saying about MLB pitching compared to AAA is just so like miles different, even though they're just one step below.
It's night and day. Just totally night and day.
So it makes sense.
But he's doing well.
Yeah, he's doing
well. And I would keep him down there for months, just having fun, just finally getting that cocky swagger back. You know that, I can show up at the park. I'm going to get my hits, going to get my work in. I'm going to have fun. That's what he needs. That's the mentality. And once he can stay there, then bring him up. But, let him have some good, solid couple months of just being the dude.
Yeah, I mean, AAA, I mean, no pressure situation for him. I mean, they're not going to move him down to AA. Like, he's fine right there. Like, winning games is great, and obviously there's the AAA playoffs and championship, but it's not the same as obviously being in Seattle.
Yeah, and he'll get back to Seattle. He just needs to be. He's still a kid. He's what, 22 or something like that?
Oh, 23? Yeah, not old at all. Yeah.
So we have to kind of keep reminding ourselves he's like young, like the future with J-Rod and stuff. And he didn't have the advantage of a full season in 2020 either. So, give the kid a break. He has a lot of stuff. He has the talent. He has the tools. He is a 5-tool guy. Just needs that time just to be the dude again. And then he can come up and then when he comes up this next time, I think there's enough guys in place that he doesn't have to be the guy to do it all.
No,
J-Rod will kind of be there.
Yeah.
And Ty France has got it going.
Ty France is a guy. Like, I knew he was good last year, but wow.
Oh, yeah.
Just, I think that's last I was still at like 325 average. Like,
yeah, he's where is he
very
at today?
well.
Oh, excuse me, 349.
Oh, 349.
Yeah.
All right. And then obviously JP Crawford, you mentioned earlier, just had a home run, and he's up in the 300s, I think, as well. Like, great to
301
see
currently.
Those two guys. Like you said, there's guys around Kelnick that are doing their thing, and he won't have to be like the guy.
Right.
Like, I think at a point, especially when he first came up, all the hype was around him. He had just come off the weird
Right.
manipulation with playing time, and it was
Oh yeah.
the all the hype when he finally got up and just thinking he had to be like he had to do everything, and that is
Exactly. He had to be the
not the
face of the
case.
franchise,
No.
and he needed a, I don't know, wins above replacement, probably a 7 or something like that. Who knows? But
Yeah,
yeah,
and definitely not the case anymore.
no, no. He can go out. He can play the game. You let his tools. Once he realizes he can just be himself
Yeah,
and everything takes care of itself, that's when you can bring him up. When he's not thinking, he's just playing,
yeah.
and there'll be a way to tell that. They'll know.
I think that's kind of the interesting thing of like the difference with J Rod is like
Mm-hmm.
even with the slump and like to start the year, the bad strikeouts that were you look back they were balls like no
Yeah.
way around it. But he, for whatever reason, like his mental was just different. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
move on to the next day. Like it's fine. Like it sucks, but we're just gonna keep playing baseball because it's fun, and
Yeah.
that's what he loves to do. And it's just interesting to kind of see the difference of these guys that have both had. I would argue the same hype coming up to the majors,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
one succeeding where one is still has all the talent in the world to be an elite
Right.
outfielder for the team and an elite hitter,
Oh yeah.
but just not I guess mentally not as with it as J Rod is
Yeah.
right now.
Well, and it's unfortunate because the one guy who could have maybe have helped Kelnick navigate this year isn't on the team right now, and that's Haniger.
Yep.
So again, we come back to Haniger. Big cog that's missing from the Mariners this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at what he did last year and what the Mariners did at the end of the season,
Yeah.
and he was rocking and rolling at the end of the season too. So, yeah, it's kind of a frustrating thing, but hopefully we can get him coming back up on board too. And if when Kelnick comes back, I would put his locker in between Suarez and Rodriguez, J. Rod.
Mm.
Put him right in the middle of those two guys, and I guarantee you he won't be able to think. He'll be laughing the whole time.
Oh yeah, I mean those two guys together, they're always joking, having fun.
Good vibes only, baby.
Yeah.
And
I guess kind of the interesting thing, and you bring up Haniger, and we've brought him up a lot of times because it does seem like he's been
it
that
does.
the leader in the clubhouse, or but he's also that veteran presence. It's kind of speaking of
Yeah.
veterans and being there to help out the team. Any news on Justin Upton? I know he was going to be in Arizona for a bit to kind of get into playing shape, and then he
Yep.
would, I think, start at AAA just to get his at bats, and then work his way up.
Yeah. So
Last I heard, I haven't seen. I assume he's at least in Arizona, if not Tacoma, at this point. Have you heard anything different?
I haven't heard anything different. Yeah, that's still the plan. They were going to try to have him, kind of do, I think, a 2-week stint up at Tacoma,
Okay.
kind of that way, and then bring him up. So that's the plan. So maybe sometime in June we'll see Justin Upton.
Yeah, and at least fill that veteran presence there too. I mean, I think he's had playoff experience at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Was he on like one of those World Series teams with Detroit when they?
Gosh, I'm trying to remember. I can't.
Or I guess they never made the series, but when they were facing Texas in the ALCS.
Yeah.
I don't remember for sure.
But he definitely has the
At least playoffs. At least playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah. Good thing for the Mariners. It does look like the pitching is starting to come around. Flexen going 7. Kirby looked good yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I really liked. He was dealing all 4 pitches. He's looking really good, comfortable, throwing strikes. Even Marco, again, got to the 8th inning, lost 2-1, but that's a lot better. That's the Marco Gonzalez that we're used to. So I think he turned the corner, on that New York Mets game. It seems like he's in a good spot. So let's just keep him rolling as long as we can. Logan Gilbert looking awesome. Getting, I think he got 7 as well. The starting pitching starting to come around. The only one is Robbie Ray. Little time to kind of work with him.
It's kind of this one a little bit reminds me of Eric Bedard when we traded, Adam Jones, and I think it was like 2008 or 7. Just came off a Cy Young win, and then just kind of wasn't really the same. And obviously, I hope it's different for Robbie Ray, considering the amount of money we paid him in the years that we locked him up for. But it is kind of weird. It's just like we
Yeah.
go after this big Cy Young winner, and then the next year they're kind of just back to how they were the years
Right.
before.
Well, and I think I was reading an article by Jeff Passan as well, and he was just saying that this last year wasn't an out of the blue type year either. He 2015 to 2020 didn't have the same stuff, but he's been working on it since then. And even when he was with Arizona,
Yeah.
teams were like, "Oh, there's something here. We just don't know if he's going to get it all together." And the things with Robbie is throwing strikes. If his control. And then the other Achilles heel he has is the home run. And the home run got him tonight, unfortunately. But, I think he's still got the stuff. He's got the velocity. I mean, he's throwing 97. So, not worried there. Just needs to get it together and just pull it together and bring it all together. But, yeah, just kind of weird, for what we had expected out of Robbie.
Yeah.
Right now he's definitely not the one that we were, pitching like that we would hope. So.
Yeah. Definitely hasn't been like the ace material that he was last year. And again, there's still plenty of time. I think
there's
only, at start number 6, maybe. If he stays healthy, he's looking at 30 starts probably.
Oh yeah. So he should be able to
maybe start 7 or 8 at this point, but still not that many compared to where you see some of these guys starting numbers. So definitely nothing to really worry about there. Kind of moving on from Seattle. Robbie Ray was the big acquisition this year for the Mariners. Of course, on top of Adam Frazier, Suarez, and Jesse Winker. But one of the big pickups for the Seattle Seahawks this year came on the draft. And if you hadn't seen this already, kind of a funny clip that they posted was trying to call running back Kenneth Walker, who just wouldn't answer his phone. Just continued to go to voicemail, and you can see actual panic on John Schneider's face when they're calling his backup contacts, they're calling everything, and they only had about a minute and a half or 2 minutes left on the clock to figure out, are we actually taking him or not? So kind of funny there. I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe you could fill me in on this, but I saw one thing that said that the draft calls actually started because a team drafted a player who actually passed away and they didn't know it. Have you seen anything?
I had not.
Yeah.
No, that would be awesome to double check on. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's like a rumor or not, but it seemed kind of reasonable to me. Let's call to make sure the kid's okay, alive, with him, so we can draft him. I mean, it's kind of grim and oh, we're only going to draft you if you're alive, but at the same point,
kind of makes sense, Yeah. Wow.
And then it turned into just a cool tradition where you kind of see the players, and probably the most memorable one lately has been DK Metcalf of his draft call. But it is funny. I'd definitely check it out because it is funny just seeing Schneider's face this is not good. Why is he not answering the phone? And then obviously you get
why don't they show that on the day of the draft?
Yeah,
show us the real thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be because that's real. That's real. Not to hey, we get everybody in the first call. No, that would have been awesome to see on the day of. Oh my god!
And then all the trolls are commenting oh, we saw the 425 number, didn't want to answer, all that fun stuff too.
Oh, absolutely.
But it is funny because I think the other one that I kind of it's leaving Seattle a little bit, but Shad Khan, when Jacksonville's owner, when they knew they were taking Trevor Lawrence and they weren't allowed to call him because the NFL wanted to string out the time of the 10 minutes, they wanted to get him to 8, and they're all sitting there we know we're taking him, he knows we're taking him, why can't we just call him and make it official? But
oh my god, that's so stupid.
Yeah, good old NFL. I mean, they gotta get their ratings, so it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
It is funny when, especially in Trevor Lawrence's case, where it's he's going number.
It's obvious.
Everyone knows it. Can't we just put the card in at 9 minutes and move on? But,
exactly. Well, they have to have their advertisers.
Exactly, and they have to do let's talk about the what ifs and oh, maybe it's not.
Let's
Trevor
hype
Lawrence.
it up.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Who could it be? Yeah.
So, but I thought that was pretty funny, and obviously
that is pretty interesting.
Kenneth Walker should be a big piece of Seattle's
Oh
offense.
yeah.
At least I don't know, at least 30% of carries, depending on health with Carson and Penny. If not taking over right away, which I could
I think
potentially
he's
see that
taking over
also.
right away. Carson and Penny aren't at OTAs. They're injured still.
Penny's injured also?
Yeah, hammy.
Ah, jeez.
So I'm not even Penny's the backup at this point.
Yeah,
Carson I don't even see on the team with his neck injury. He should just
yeah.
retire.
Is
It's Walker's team.
is that neck injury? Is it like what Cam Chancellor had that made him retire?
I think so.
Oh, makes sense.
As much as they aren't saying it, because I think he had to have a fusion,
Oh, okay.
which I think is what
That's
Cam
what Cam
had.
had, I think, too. Yeah.
Which I saw Cam wants to be trying to buy into the Seahawks. He wants to be an
Yeah,
owner. So
I saw that too. That'd be good for Seattle. I think that'd be really
yeah,
cool for him too to be a part owner of that team. It's
because I know
also
that they have to. The trust has to sell the Seahawks, and it has to
yeah,
happen probably by 25 or
yeah. I think
26.
I saw 25. I think I saw that also.
But yeah, I think the more you can get local, get them in there,
I
get
think
them on there now.
it's also kind of it's cool and it kind of speaks to at least the organization. I won't speak too much on the city anymore, but the fact that a guy who had he even like been to Seattle before getting drafted there to
No,
all of a
no,
sudden obviously he played his whole career there, but to the point of like actually I want to be an owner of the team.
right,
I think
yeah,
that speaks a lot to the Seahawks and that organization as a whole because you'll see plenty of guys that they immediately leave after their rookie contract because of how bad the
right,
atmosphere in the organization is
yeah,
compared to now with Cam and then we won't speak on Russ too much, but overall we've talked about that and glad he's gone over in
mm-hmm.
the long term. But
Yeah,
um,
yep,
definitely cool for Cam, and hopefully that ends up
absolutely.
working out. I've loved to see him as an owner. He was favorite player for a little bit, and the quick 2 minutes I got to meet him, he was just super generous with his time and super friendly and nice, and hard to imagine that guy just beat up on Vernon Davis and
Oh,
multiple other players on game
multiple,
day. Just
yes.
turned into a monster on game day where he was actually super cool in person. So definitely funny how that works out, but there's
Mm-hmm.
definitely lots of stories of players just switching the switch when it comes
Yeah,
to being on the field.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
let's talk just real briefly about the Sounders. Obviously, getting the win against Charlotte 2-1. I think Ladero or no Rui Diaz and Jordan Morris got the two goals there. In the
Yep.
72nd, 80th minute. Um, good win for them. At least they're starting to win again.
Oh
It
yeah.
seems like in the MLS, and it's nice to see. We've seen Rui Diaz a little bit here score a few goals more recently. At least the couple
Yeah.
games that I've looked at or taken a peek at. But
Yeah.
it's nice to see Jordan Morris also get a goal. I don't know
Yes.
if he's been scoring a lot and I've just not noticed it, or if it's been a little bit since he scored a goal.
Yeah. He kind of like Rui Diaz a little bit. He had a breakaway and how he missed it, I don't know. He missed it left, but it was just one of those that it seems like he's just a tick behind,
Mm.
and his speed is still there. He's getting open. It's like it's almost there. So, he'll be fine. He's definitely getting some spots open. He's definitely got the speed back, and yeah, he'll get the range in again. Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
No. And then
And
just kind of a little fun side note here, since we are talking Sounders. USA is playing Morocco on ESPN2 at the moment, just in a friendly up in Cincinnati. But a couple or one former Sounder and then a current Sounder are on the substitute on the bench tonight, being DeAndre Yedlin and Christian Roldan.
all right, all
So
right,
kind of fun to see some Sounder players representing USA tonight. Um,
absolutely,
and then hopefully Jordan Morris gets back on USA also. I know he was
yeah,
there for a little bit as well.
right, yeah. I think he can.
But speaking of, just kind of Seattle in general, I think the NHL draft, is that coming up this month or is it July? Do you remember?
I want to say July
I don't
for
know
some
why I have
reason.
like June 10th stuck in my head. I don't know why. I don't think it's June
There's
10th, but for whatever. Okay. Yeah, July 7th, Thursday, July 7th.
okay.
I wonder what's on
That's what I
June
thought.
10th. But yeah, July 7th, Seattle will be drafting. What was it, third?
Fourth.
Fourth. They had three and dropped to four. That's right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that'll be fun to talk about in the next coming weeks because there's obviously going to be some interesting mock drafts and just kind of learning some of the
Mm-hmm.
players that might be there at 4 and just kind of seeing what the future might be for the Kraken, and then free agency
Yeah,
will
and
start right around that corner too.
absolutely. And I think it'll be telling to see what
Yeah.
direction the
Hmm.
Kraken go, because there are really, for where they're going to pick,
Yeah.
there's really a good solid 3 players that are all of different ability and
Hmm.
different style, that it'll be interesting to see what they pull the trigger on if they go with any of those 3.
Yeah, they might go something totally like last year. They went pretty expected in Beniers. I mean, this year
Right.
we don't know. We don't know what they're
We don't
thinking.
know.
So
And you would think they do it, but hopefully, I don't think it's necessarily, but trader, like Trader Jerry or whatever, but do they do they try for more capital? I don't know.
I don't know because don't they have like 12 picks in the next 3 years in the first
I
two
think
rounds or
they
something
do.
like that?
It's just kind of weird. It's like
Yeah.
they got to be so solid on that player that they take out of that 4th spot.
Yeah.
Uh, if it isn't that wholehearted behind thing, I could see them maybe dropping back a couple and picking up, maybe
Yeah.
a spot and picking up another capital or something for down the road. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, we'll definitely have to dive into that, because
Yeah.
the second year for the Kraken is going to be interesting. So
It'll be a very telling year. Obviously, getting the full year under their
mm-hmm.
belt. Probably some additions, some subtractions, as we saw at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
Speaking real quick, good for Giordano getting that 2-year contract with Toronto, so he'll get to stay where he
yeah,
wanted to be and continue playing. But then obviously the chemistry of the players that have been together, it'll
yes,
be interesting to see that, and then hopefully the defensive pairings can kind of figure it out a little better to help out Grubauer in goal, and then
yeah,
Dreiger, I never say his name correctly, but that goalie tandem will be fine going
right,
forward. So.
yeah,
With that kind of said, though, we touched on all the things that I had in
yeah,
mind at least. Really diving into the Mariners again because that's what's going on for the most part
right.
is Mariner games, and we have a little bit of stuff to talk about with Kyle Lewis and just kind of the team in general. But before we wrap up everything, is there anything that you want to add on to finish tonight's episode?
Sure. Just a big shout out to the Lady Storm out there, the Seattle Storm. They, kind of started out a little rocky there, with Phoenix taking 2 from them. However, amazing what happens even with a few of the gals under protocol. Lately, they went on a streak of 4 wins in a row. They're now 5-3. They're second in the West, and really getting some good contributions from like Lloyd and Stewart and Lavender on this last game. So getting a nice distribution of folks stepping up to the plate, and yeah, that bounce back. Hey, no
Yeah.
problem. We took 2 from New York, so hey, that's great. We might have gotten swept, but we can sweep too. So, Lady Storm doing a nice job. Way to bounce back and getting into contention again, real quick, like so.
Awesome.
Things are looking up.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. And,
Yeah.
hopefully that continues as well because it would be nice to see another championship for the Storm
Yes.
after they won in
Absolutely.
2020, I think was the last
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Be nice to see Sue Bird go out with another trophy, and that'd be like 5 for her or something like that. So.
Yeah, she'd be doing just fine. Just fine. Quite the career.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But with that said, thank you everybody for watching, listening, however you choose to consume the content. We really appreciate it, and it just we do this for fun, but it's also nice to see people
Yeah.
watching and enjoying as well. So, with that said, go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, and we will see y'all in the next episode of Anchors Away.
Have a good one.